This is the Average to Savage podcast with Paul Guarino. Everyone and anyone, athletes, celebs, and much more.
What's up, everybody? I'm back for another episode of the Average Savage podcast. Our special guest today is Coach John Mosley. John, how's it going?
It's going well, man. Everything's good. Just busy couple weeks, man. Overwhelming response from the show.
Yeah, for sure. Now let's go back in time a little bit. Take me through how, Netflix or Last Chance U, Greg, how they reach out to you in the first place.
You know what? It was a cold call, man. And I kind of barely had heard of the show, and I kind of saw glimpses of it on Netflix. But when you're a basketball coach, you don't have much time. So I watched a few of those episodes of the previous show, and they reached out to me, and I'm like, there's no way I'm doing that. I'm not exposing myself like that and putting myself out there. But then when they explained what the show was going to be about, and they said it's just really a mirror of you, and I said, well, I don't know if I want a mirror of me out there. A few people, there's a couple people. So my athletic director says, nah, man, you got to do it. It's going to be great for the school and everything. He's a football coach as well. And then once we decided to do it, he says, oh, I wouldn't have never done it. No, but he said so and thought it would be good. And then good friend of mine, another junior college coach, reached out. I was chatting with him, and I said, hey, man, I think this is maybe a possibility to do. He said, oh, man, you got to do it. He was a believer like myself. His name is Coach Brewer. And so he says, yeah, man, you got to do it. So I'm like, he said, you got to show them how we mentor these young men and how you live out your faith through the show. And I'm like, I don't know if they're going to allow that to happen. And then finally, so I called my pastor up and I said, hey, what do you think of this? I just know he's going to say, oh, no, we don't want to do anything like that to kind of put ourselves out there like that or expose ourselves. And to my surprise, he says, no, you got to do it. You got to share what you do and how you impact lives. So I think that's how it came about. I kind of agreed to it and kind of shaking in my boots a little bit through the whole process. But the Last Chance U people, man, they phenomenal production, how they put it together. So the content was exactly what it was. It was authentic, man. And so we were glad that story was able to be told.
Yeah. I mean, it was awesome. It was definitely one of my favorite seasons. And then what about just when they first got there and things like that? What was it like to just have cameras around you all the time?
You know what? I share with others. I just feel like, in terms of my faith, that I got cameras on me the whole time. Right. And so we want to live out who we are, and I live out who I am. Not only when people are around, trying to be authentic, but when people aren't around, just being authentic. So I just figured I'm going to just be myself the same as I am if the doors are closed or if the doors are open. And I think I led the charge with that, and our players kind of followed suit. They saw, hey, Coach Mosley's not any different. He's still turned up. He's still got a lot of energy. The way that I am, I just lived it out and didn't try to stage anything in terms of family or church or anything like that. So I think that's what made it resonated with a lot of people, that it was authentic. And I think the players followed the same. They just said, hey, it's the same. And you know what, man, social media, man, it's crazy how everybody's on the camera now. Yeah. So everybody's got themselves out there. Everybody's got a YouTube channel or Instagram Live or all that stuff. Twitter. So it became normal after one or two shoots,
Yeah, for sure. I mean, so I've been watching the series since the beginning, and it's crazy because I remember at first they didn't even have social media for the actual show. And now it's like a whole brand, and with your season, they came out with the soundtrack with all the famous rappers and stuff like that. So that's why it's crazy, just the evolution of the whole show.
Absolutely.
And then I think I think it looks like the basketball one's I don't know, it might be bigger than the football one because it's getting a lot of buzz.
You know what the beauty of basketball is? You have the expressions, you have you can see all the emotions that they're going through. And the basketball has been endeared as, a kind of a Hollywood sport anyway. It's a little more flashy. So it has its advantages. I love the rawness of football, but basketball has its advantages as well in terms of you can see everything that's going on. You can see the disappointment. You can see all that with the basketball program. You can hear it's a little bit more intimate because it's closer Everybody's there. Everybody's closer to the court. And so there's a lot of interaction that's going on, which it showed. It made it compelling.
Yeah, for sure. Now going into your coaching career, how long have you been coaching? And then I know you've been at East Los Angeles for 8 years, right?
Yeah, so this is in my 9th year. But yeah, so a little over 20 years, maybe 21, 22. Can't count since 19. Yeah, shoot, man, time flies. I guess 1998 I started coaching. Wow, I'm getting old. Okay.
Yeah,
Since
so like I didn't
1998.
I don't know if I missed it in the show. I didn't realize you were there that long at the college.
Yeah. Yeah.
So like what's it been like just the past 8 years of like the growth or anything there?
Yeah, well, everyone was. I kind of took a break from the 4-year level, and I was like, I'll do this just to be a head coach because previously I had been an assistant coach at the universities. I said I'll be a head coach. Let me try it out. It wasn't really paying much at the time, and I'm competitive and I wanted to win. The only way you can really help these kids move on is if you show them how to win in life and kind of win at every aspect. Get them to the 4-year level. The best way to get them to the 4-year level. That was my sole purpose the first year. Everybody was saying, hey, just have a respectable program. Traditionally it wasn't a super powerhouse. So I said, okay, I just want to get these guys to the next level. And because of that compassion of wanting to see them do so well and make it to the next level and get that 4-year scholarship, it kind of drove the individuals, and then it built some momentum because, and I just think if you care, that's where the momentum comes. And then we attract, players. And now the thing is built up to not just the power in Southern California or the state, but now in the country. Our players are sought after all over the country. And we're, now Netflix put us on a not just national, but a worldwide spotlight. So the evolution has been amazing, not short of giving God all the glory for how we've gotten here.
Just like, yeah, what about just going into the coaching, like how has recruiting process like just changed over the years too?
Yeah, so we've all from the beginning, it was a little tough and really selling and marketing the program, letting them know that we really care. I think that's the biggest thing when students know that you really invested in their lives and you understand what's going on in their lives and they know you care. And then to see the results, we're able to share with new student athletes like, hey, look at the results of what we've done and we care about you. And I think that's drawn a lot of student athletes here, some of the best players all over the country, not just in Southern California. And now with the show, it's kind of blown up out of proportion. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm thousands of emails of, hey, I want to come to ELAC and play. Hey, coach, what's tough, man, is I'm reading through emails. I really try to read through. I probably have read through every email. I mean, I'm talking about thousands, even if I just skim through them. And a lot of them, it feels like, I guess they feel like they know me the way they are communicating through email. It's not just a random email. I used to get random emails like, hey, here's my profile. Would love to connect with you about basketball and playing there. Now it's like, hey, coach, what's up? Hey, I remember in this episode you said this. That's me all day long. Hey, I'll see you next week. I want to come down and visit, or something. Or I want to be there. I'll be there next year, So that's kind of how it is now, which is a good thing.
Yeah.
I wish I can talk to each and every one of them, but it's just thousands. I wish there was a way I can do it.
Yeah, for sure. That's why I was going to ask, like, how would your emails looking like recruiting?
Yeah, it's loaded. So we have people that are helping me a little bit get through some of it. But for the most part, I don't, I think they asked me, they said, hey, you might want to take down your email address.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking like, oh, I'm used to a ton of emails. Like, oh, I get tons of emails all the time. But I didn't realize it was going to be like 10 times the amount of emails. Usually I'm getting several emails from the school, several emails from the district, and then my boss, and then, people from the outside. And but this is, I'm usually 30 to 40 emails a day on a normal. So I'm like, yeah, I'm used to that. But now it's up to, several hundred a day. And I initially was like, no, I'll be fine. I'm good to go. I'm Coach Mosley. I can handle it.
Yeah.
And now it's just like, you know what? I kind of opened up the can of worm. But
Yeah.
I got it up there now, so I guess I'll leave it. It hasn't died down yet, but I'll figure it out. I got a plan now. I say, okay, at 10 10:30 to 11 at 10:30 or 11 o'clock at night. That's when I say, okay, let me go through all and try to respond to what I can respond to and forward emails. So that's my plan. I figured out a schedule, how to handle that.
Yeah. Yeah, and then going into just like the last season, and then obviously ending because of coronavirus, and that's why I like just watching it too, like because there wasn't really, because I kind of felt like it was coming, but I didn't know. But I think there wasn't no dates on the screen, so I was like kind of confused, like when did they film this and things like that. So like what were you? I know you guys got shut down like pretty late, right? After like all the big conferences got shut down. So like you were anticipating to play, right?
Well, the whole country got shut down.
Yeah, yeah.
And I don't want to spoil what happened, but we all got shut down. Everybody had some level of disappointment. Every single sport that was playing in the spring had some level of disappointment, man, and we were no short of that. So yeah, I mean, just getting through that and still trying to get through that right now. I mean, they haven't opened the doors here in Southern California. Southern California is the toughest. So that may be the only thing. I'm enjoying everything else, but that may be the most frustrating part of my life right now is the impact that I've normally had on all of these young men's life and are able to get through and kind of have control over helping dictate, direct them. I have no engagement with them at all, and it's been a year. So that part has been tough, and it's been a little disappointing that we're looking for leadership to help us engage the students, and it's been tough with leadership, whatever level of leadership is that has the decision making power to say, hey, let's at least let them engage. I mean, I haven't been able to see them in a year, so that's pretty frustrating. Now it's over a year. It was March 11th when I last seen him.
Yeah. So you guys didn't have a season, right, this year?
So right now we still haven't gotten in. There's talks of still putting something together, but
Yeah.
right now we still haven't been able to kind of put it together. So it's a little disappointing.
For sure. Is it so like what are those do like the student like the players now like do they have like what are their options for like eligibility and things like that?
Well, there's several rules that are in place. All that's still up in the air.
Yeah.
Whether the NCAA will honor giving the students at the community college a year back. We have that at the NCAA, but will they honor the years of the community college students? So all that stuff is still in the air. There's a lot of things that we got to filter through. None of that stuff really matters. I'm just trying to see them. If I could just see them to kind of help them with their mental health and motivation, and that would be good enough for me right now. We're not trying to not be safe. I understand there's parameters about being safe. I just want to see them and I want to engage them. So, they're at home. So the young men you've seen on screen on the Last Chance U show, we bring in new young men just like that are all have issues and they're at a loss right now, not being able to engage with them. So that's what I'm looking forward to. That's first, and then we'll figure everything else after that.
Yeah, for sure. Now I gotta ask. I know probably a lot of people are asking. Like, have you gotten any like offers to go to a D1 program?
Well, you know what? That's always been on the table.
Yeah.
It has to be the right fit, but I'd have to go somewhere where I can do exactly what I'm doing here in terms of having an impact. And sometimes it's just a little different. I'm able to have a little bit more freedom to be with my family as well. I'm able to be, for me, a little more authentic. Not that you can't do it at those levels. Those guys have figured it out. But for me, I could do it a little bit better at this level, have a little bit more control where I have time to actually sit with young men, more time than you may get, than I had when I was at the next level to really sit and spend time. So those guys do a great job. But for me, it would have to be laid out. I'm not going to really pursue it like that, but it really has to be laid out that, hey, you could really, of course, more income and you could really do exactly what you've done at the next level. And it's not compromising my family as well. So I love what I'm doing. I'm flattered by opportunities and offers and all that, but it really has to fit.
Yeah, for sure. And then like, how's it make you feel just seeing, your players going D1, just for example, just like, Joe went to Long Beach and Deshaun at Sacramento State. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then,
well,
yeah, but just in general though, like, how is it to see your players like go D1?
Well, you know what, in the show, a lot of the commentary, everything was focused on us trying to win and get to the state championship. But you know what, man? What's most important to me, I get the most satisfaction is seeing those guys where I could just, this was the first year that I'm not coaching and I'm able to watch games of my former players. Sometimes if they're out of state, there are these games at these weird hours that I can't catch. They'll be like at 3:00 in the afternoon because they're playing on, some channel, ESPN3 or something, and I can't see it on the app. And I was able to watch a little bit. Man, that just warmed my heart to see those guys. And I'm not talking about the guys just this year, but years in the past. To be able to see that, to me, that's what gets me most fired up and excited. That's what I'm pressing for. That's what I'm urging these guys to do. And in the midst of that, you want to win games, to put them on a better platform, to say, hey, this guy helped us win this amount of games. He's a winner. This is why you should take him. And that's the goal, man, is to get these guys out. And I love that happened. And even down to the end, forget the show, man. It was a fight, a struggle, battling, getting these guys through academically. Things that the cameras, they don't catch, the fight all the way to the end, and then the reward. And it's not, if I'm selfish, I tell, when I recruit people, hey, if I'm selfish, the selfish part of me needs to see you playing at the next level. Then I can say, hey, look at how I helped this young man. So that would be the stuff. It's not, I think I won enough, man. I coach of the year 5 times in a row. Like, you know what? It's seeing those guys move to the next level. That's what gives me the most satisfaction.
Yeah. Give me some stats. How many players have you had got D1, and then like any NBA players?
So no NBA players. I had several guys that are playing professionally in other countries. As a head coach, you talk about my 20-year span. I mean, there's tons of guys. But several guys is playing overseas professionally. But I don't have that number in my head. My assistant coach, Coach Hunter, he keeps those stats because he has a listed. He shows the guys when we recruit them. But for me, man, I don't keep I just want to see them go and get their degrees and have families and have great lives and have a career like me. I got a career in basketball. It's not that I want you to have a career in basketball, but just have a career and to be able to see you come from a place where you didn't think you were going to, where you didn't think you were going to make it out, or I tell the guys, I want you to be in a better place than you thought you ever would be. Yeah. And what does that look like for you? I don't know. And when I see that and the guys are excited, they're like, Coach, I got this career, I got my family, I got married, I'm going to guys' weddings. That's what I get most excited about.
Gotcha. And what advice do you have for like a young coach trying to make it?
You know what? I would say, man, really find some good pedigree to get under and learn, man. That's what I had. My mentor, unfortunately, he just passed last. So that was, January 2020. And, hey, he was in a hospital and nobody knew what was going on. Mm-hmm. Okay, so we know what that was. But he was in his 70s and he was on a respirator. So I won't mention what that was, but we didn't know what was going on, but he passed. And that was my mentor. And I think I learned a lot. His mentor was John Wooden, and so he was under John Wooden. I learned so much because with my little wisdom, I learned so much about what's important and what it takes to win and have success, and then learn about loyalty and being under good coaches and good people. So be under good people, and then also be under if you got a chance to just learn, you're not going to get paid, buku money right away. Just go learn under some great people and great men. And I think that's important. And I had the opportunity to have that. And I think that's where it comes from. The success I'm having is because I was under some good men. And what's crazy is I learned how to run a program and have good people. I learned about staffing. And so the guys that are with me on my staff, phenomenal, man. If you see the coaching staff, how we click and we get along, all that stuff is important. What it means when you learn from successful coaches, they learn it's not just like I keep saying, it's not just the X's and O's. It's, that part is easy. It's the relationships you have with administration, the support staff you have, that all those things are important. Those are things that I learned. It's not just jumping out there and saying, I got this great play to run. There's the stuff off the court that matters, probably 90% of having a successful program versus the 10% on the court. So.
I gotcha. And then I know the last chance you football was in Laney and Oakland. Did you get to connect with Coach Beam out there?
Oh man, I was like trying to figure out, hey man, please give me advice. And man, Coach Bean was phenomenal, man.
Yeah.
Most people would be like, well, you're on your own. Coach Bean was phenomenal. I still text Coach Beam or talk to him. I say, hey man, this is coming up. What should I do? He said, yeah, I was waiting for you to call me, Johnny. He calls me Johnny. So yeah, Coach Bean, man, he calls me Johnny. How you doing, Johnny? He called me the day after it came out. I said, oh my goodness. He said, I told you, get ready. And so Coach Beam is phenomenal, man. He needs to be the last chance you mentor of coaches, like mentoring us all on how to get through this thing. So he was great, man, and he did a great job with that deal, man. And that was a great show for me leading up to me. And
Yeah.
you know what's interesting is I think that show was done, and while I didn't see it while we were filming, so it hadn't come out. We did our film. It just came out,
Yeah.
in the summer, and we were filming, so I hadn't seen it, but he helped guide me through some of that stuff, so it was good.
Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome. So have you gotten the chance to watch it, or you don't want to watch yourself?
I did. I have had a chance to watch it. I watched it early. I think it was important so that I can answer as many questions as I could to kind of take a look. And my family, my wife, they were, I actually got a sneak peek a little bit early. So, I got a chance to tease a few friends like, hey, man, March 10th when it comes out,
Yeah.
oh, this scene, you got to watch it. They were like, tell me. I'm like, nah, you got to just watch it. So, yeah, I got a chance to watch it. So it's just surreal, man, to kind of see himself uh, play out on television, man.
Yeah.
And the edit, they made me look a lot better than I thought I was as a person. Because the music, man. I mean, I tell you, the music was phenomenal.
Yeah.
That was my best part. Everybody, what's your favorite? I said, the music, because
Yeah.
the music ties into just the emotions of what's going on, and then it kind of had a little bit of my flavor. You got some oldies in there, and I'm like, and then you got California music, Southern California music, and then you got some gospel. That's what I'm about. I mean, it just tied into everything. And then you got the kids, what their era is. It's so. Hey, man, hats off to them, man. They should win whatever awards the top award is for this show. It should happen.
Yeah, for sure. What about I saw there was a collab shoe with Steph Curry. How'd that come about, and what did you get to meet Steph Curry?
So reached out, man. Apparently, he gave the go ahead to make the shoe for Last Chance U. It kind of embodied that underdog mentality, man. So, yeah, man. Because I remember talking about. I think they caught it like, hey, this shot matters. You know what I'm saying? It's not just because I can shoot it, let me shoot it. No, it matters, man. That one shot can be the shot that changes your whole life. So every shot counts is I think they even threw that on the shoe. So yeah, man, that was great. And I was kind of humbled by that as well. Like, man, they made a shoe for the show, and I got a pair. So
Yeah.
I think there's only 3 pair.
Yeah.
I think Steph wore them. I got a pair, and I think they got one there out there that somebody can get. Somebody can win that shoe.
Yeah.
I think you go to the Last Chance U page, man. Hop on that page, and you can get a shoe. That you can find it somewhere. I think you can win them or something like that. So,
Yeah.
they sweet, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. All right, you ready for some fun questions?
Sure. Here we go.
What's your favorite song right now?
Whew, that's tough, man. Man, I'm so oldies driven. You got favorites. You know what? I don't really. I'm like a guy. Like, I hear all the songs that are popular now. I hear them like a year later, and I'm like, oh, those are great.
Yeah.
I really dig into gospel. That gets me motivated, man. I usually do praise and worship to make sure my mind is focused on what my goal is, and that's to make sure I set a good example and I please God with all of my actions. So I'm just digging in the gospel. I can't say a song. I don't want to screw it up because probably wouldn't get the right name of the song or the right artist. I just know it's ringing in my head or something like that. So I can't say specifically, man, but I'll tell you what, I dig in. I make sure I do that when I do my devotionals in the morning, so that I go and my approach to life is making sure that I'm focused for the day.
Yeah, for sure. What about like who's like the craziest person that reached out to you, like famous or like celebrity athlete?
Man, so we've heard from just on the Instagram lives, the Shaquille O'Neals. So many people have in the Twitter account. You can't even. I was on with like we got a radio show host out here, Big Boy. You
Yeah.
know, he was 92.3. So we were
Yeah.
on the Instagram live. He was like, "Coach, what's up? Okay, I got to stop cursing. I got to stop cursing now." So I can't even. I mean, the emails that I've gotten from some college coaches that I've across the country, some private encouraging emails. It's been a lot, but to my surprise, I really didn't. I thought it would be just like the last chance you culture, you know, that would hit us up. But it's beyond that, and that's been amazing. The people that have reached out. I think we've touched people in the faith community. So my faith is important to me, and that community has reached out. The NBA basketball community, we've seen tweets. I mean, I was Nick Van Exo and Tobias. I was kind of tweeting back and forth with that Tobias Harris and several people in that regard. And, you know, I don't take the time to spend to go through all of them, but yeah.
What about, I know you're a humble guy, but is there any like dream interview you have that like you want to get on somebody's show?
You know what's great, man, is somebody like Oprah, you know what I'm saying? Like if she had it's something like that. Just something like, I don't know, something like that. Stephen A. Smith or, something like that. Just to kind of help continue to empower the community and the cause of this. Somebody who's who always advocates positive reinforcement in lives of others. Any show like that, I'd be happy to be on any of those.
For sure. Last one. What do you like to do in your free time?
Kids, man, my family. I invest in my kids a lot. So this pandemic, although I'm frustrated and I'm kind of almost to anger that I haven't seen my students in a year, it's given me a lot of time with my kids. I mean, my daughter, I got a daughter who's, oh man, that changed. They're getting older. She just turned 13. I got another one turning 15 this weekend. One plays softball, one plays basketball. And then my son, been able to invest in him with basketball. And I've said, you know what, my kids got a lot better. And my hashtag is like I am not paying for college. So it looks like they're on their way. And I think this year helped me give them some tools to help them get themselves better. They kind of learned how to invest in themselves, and they learned how to work. That's something you have to teach them too, because going out and just playing or really teaching them how to develop their craft is something that I was able to teach all three of them. And I thought investing in that and in family and spending time with my wife. I mean, she's a teacher, man. And we Zoom in, and this is I got 5 people Zooming all day. And she's like, shut up.
Yeah.
I'm talking to my class. And I'm like, well, I'm doing this. I'm talking to my class. And so, you got one in the garage Zoom in, and one in the bedroom, and one, it's all over the place. So that's been great and for the past time right now. So spending time with family. I really don't have much time for anything else. And now social media is taking all my time up,
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, I appreciate you coming on, and could you let the listeners know where they can follow you on social media?
Yeah, John Mosley Jr., JOHN MOSLEY. So you spell Mosley MOSLEY. A lot of people make the mistake MOSELEY, which is the way you can spell it too, but it's MOSLEY Jr. So John Mosley Jr. That's my Twitter, and then Coach John Mosley _ELAC.
All right, again, appreciate it.
Instagram, yeah.
Oh, again, sorry about that. Appreciate it, Coach. Yeah, and I'll definitely I'll be tweeting it out and sharing it, and I'll be showing you.
Absolutely. Thanks, Paul.